Like
You know
cutting
how hard that's
boards.
going to be for him to import overseas when they move to London?
I
This
know,
is going to
right?
be absolutely
Gotta deal with a
insanity.
lot of stuff.
He's gonna
That
have to
is true.
like
They
go
want him
through
to take wood
customs
out.
and everything. They won't even let him take it.
Mm.
Unreal.
All that cutting board for nothing.
All right, we are live. We're waiting for some people to log on. If you're joining us live, hello.
To be fair, that cryptocurrency deal is kind of insane.
It's smart,
Yeah, right?
For
especially
him,
now
it's
after
great.
it took a dip too, because it's about to go back up. So I
It's
mean,
about to
he's
spike, yeah.
he's gonna have all that. Like that's
Did they
not bad.
actually do it?
It's not Bitcoin. I think it's a different cryptocurrency.
It's a
Right.
mixture of Bitcoin, Doge, and something else.
Probably Ethereum, ETH.
Ethereum,
be.
yeah.
Either way,
Ethereum.
it's fine, especially if it has Dogecoin in it, because like I said, it's not even at $1 yet. So once it does hit $1, it's going to. If you have any money invested in that, then you're great.
I just
Well,
like how
I mean, it
everybody's
lost
got
half its
different
value.
I'd be the number one overall
All
pick
right,
and
let's
just
go to
sign
the
Roman
chatting screen.
endorsements.
Here we are. Chat
we
is
chatting?
open. Live is open.
Let's chat.
We have a special guest tonight. Grace Raynor, right? Is that right? Grace Raynor?
Yes.
Am I saying that
Yep.
right? All right. I'm
You
gonna
are.
make sure. She's probably on here going, what the hell did I get myself?
What did I sign up for?
Listen,
No, y'all are fun.
I love it when we get like writers from,
Yeah,
like we had Stephen Holder on. He's with you guys.
Yeah.
And, you know, he does the Colts. So it's funny because they're used to going on like Colts focused like podcasts. And then they come on ours and it's like all of us talking crap to each other. And they're like, they don't know what to do with themselves. But it's fun. It's a good time.
I love it.
Yeah, we told her thanks for making your head 3 times bigger than it already is.
In my defense, she said, "This is the most entertaining interview I've done all of 2021." And I was like, "I'm sorry."
She did say she was sorry.
That's pretty bad.
I thought it was really funny.
Oh, wow.
I'm glad you did.
I think a lot of people did.
Yeah.
So the Colts are internally debating on whether or not they should use their early pick on an offensive tackle or add another weapon for Carson Wentz.
Depends on who's somebody's gonna.
Somebody's dropping, man. I'm sorry. Somebody's dropping. I don't know who it is. It's somebody.
Well, the thing you know that there's always that one panic pick that a team makes that they had no business making, and then there's just a run of the same exact pick, and somebody's gonna jump the gun and just pick something absurd.
Hey, if
Did you guys
Devontae
see,
Smith goes all the way to 21, I'm not going to complain.
Well,
Did
Devontae,
you guys see the NFL Network today? I was
Take that.
watching them. They were saying the 49ers it's a 2-man race between Trey Lance and Mac Jones now. Fields isn't even in the conversation, apparently.
These
Oh,
people
stupid.
that are like backwards on fields are like blowing my mind.
Yeah, me too.
Like,
I
what?
mean, that's a lot
Yeah,
of
but
smoke.
He's
I mean,
also short,
I don't
isn't he,
know.
for a quarterback?
That's an
He's
outdated
6'3".
premise now anyway. There's been
My-
enough short
Yeah, Russell
quarterbacks
Wilson.
lately.
Is
My-
it
my quarterback-
How outdated as of the last 2 months? Because that's all I heard from
Russell
Gardner
Wilson's like
Drew
5'10".
Brees, Russell Wilson, Kyler Murray, they're all breaking it now.
I was about to say my quarterback for the
Yeah.
Cardinals is the shortest quarterback. of
And also,
all time.
Justin
Yeah,
Fields
no
is
one cares about
6'3". He's definitely doesn't qualify as
Yeah.
short.
Height isn't a big deal anymore for the quarterbacks.
yeah. Not to mention the fact that Brock Osweiler was 6'8", so I mean,
You know, if they're
tall
tall,
doesn't
then
always
they're
compute.
garbage.
And he
Yeah,
still couldn't
tall.
see over a wall.
All right. Well, we're about to get this ball rocking and rolling. Like I said,
That's
I'm
the
trying to-
that's the
this
Texans'
has been
best
shared
quarterback
to
right
way too
there.
many places. I'm trying to catch up. right now.
Ever.
Way too many places, which isn't a bad thing, right?
I said it on the groups and on Twitter.
All right, we're good to go. All right, y'all ready? Chris Jackson.
Yep.
It's a good old.
Oh yeah.
good old fashioned co-hosting episode. Never
Yeah,
never
why-
anything crazier than a co-hosting episode. All right. Here we go. Maybe. Okay, here we go. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the Nope. Hold on.
Jesus.
Remember that one?
Already?
Sorry. Already.
Yeah, the one
Already.
we got up to like
Well done.
take 19.
That was Todd's fault. That was
Sam,
Todd's
you've been doing this for like 3 years now. Like,
Yeah. This is your third season,
I
as
know,
you said.
and it just like every episode gets worse, and it like my ADD and my anxiety because I have to hang out with you guys every Monday. It stresses
It's
me
okay,
out.
Sam. It's not like that one episode where you farted on the intro.
oh,
I wish that would have been funny if that actually happened. All right, here we go. Hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in to the AFC South Fan Battle podcast. My name is Samantha Warnett, and I am hosting this lovely episode tonight, but I do have a co-host with me this evening, Mr. Chris Jackson. How are you, Chris?
I am great. Glad to be here to make sure that you don't get the bubble guts like you do previously. How's everybody doing tonight?
I like how you like to fake call me out. Like if you have plenty to actually call me out on in real life to make up something to call me out on. I'm just saying.
Sam, it's those bubble guts again. I really need you to relax.
Well, we'll get into something to laugh at me for in a minute. But anyways, guys, it's draft week. We did it.
woo! Let's
did
do
it.
it. We're finally here.
We made it.
Finally here. There's been a whole lot of like nothing going on. And tonight we have a special mock draft episode, gearing up as of the recording of this episode. This is Monday night. But if you're hearing it on iTunes, then the draft is tomorrow because it'll be Wednesday. And I'm anxious to hear what everybody is going to pick. Who knows who's going to go first overall? It's going to be a shocker, I'm sure.
Be a
But-
kicker.
Listen, before we start, before I do introductions, speaking of that, I want to give a shout out to Janet Ellis. She made these masks for the draft. They're half Clemson, half Jaguars. If any mask that you want, I have to give her a shout out because these things are amazing. Anyways, so Yankee SEWYANKEE 603@gmail.com. Love it. I'll be taking lots of photos in that because who knows? We might take Justin Fields. Come on, whatever.
Or Kellen
Anyways.
Mond.
I also want to
Ben
mention the
Mellinger.
Relevant app. You can find all of the content pre-show in there. I highly suggest you go in there. You can find anything that you want. They have vibes set up. It doesn't matter if it's college football. It doesn't matter what it is. Underwater basket weaving. If you're into that, that's fine. It's on there. So find us in there and join in on the conversation. But we're just going to jump right into this thing this evening, guys. We do have a special guest because we had a very interesting week last week. But I want to introduce our commentators for this evening first. Representing the Colts, we have Harish Nukala.
Chris, I have a message for you. Please trade down from 21 so we can take care of business. Thank you.
I'm assuming that you're talking
Noted.
to Ballard and not Jackson, right?
Both
Whatever
of 'em.
Whatever Chris wants to listen, I'm talking to them.
Okay.
Both of them.
All right, got it. Representing the Jags, we have Matt Grieve.
Duval.
Love it every time. Representing the Titans, we have John Ha.
I thought I was the special guest tonight.
John, every time you're on for the Titans, you're always the special guest.
I was about to say, you're special, John. You're very special.
You're a very special guest
Thank
all the
you.
time. We're just happy.
Technically,
You're the one in a million, John.
anytime we get a Titans commentator, it feels like a special guest.
That is true.
And from Utah, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Amazing.
And representing the not Cardinals, my bad. I get confused. The
Got 'em.
Texans.
Nah, he
We
ain't
have
offended
Matt-
by that.
How is that a downfall? I love.
He's
come
proud
on,
of it.
Cardinals, let's do it. Yeah, 10-6. Let's go.
Well, our special guest for this evening is Grace Raynor. She's a writer from The Athletic with focus on Clemson, and you can find her on Twitter at GM Raynor. That's GMRAYNOR. Hello, Grace. How are you this evening?
Hello, I'm doing well. How are y'all doing?
Good. Well,
Awesome.
before we start and we get into why you're here, tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, and where we can find all your work.
Sure. Well, I cover Clemson for The Athletic. This is going to be my, fifth season. So I saw Trevor Lawrence all the way through. And I'm on Twitter, just like the rest of the world, for better or for worse. Like you said, that GM Raynor.
Awesome. So I asked Grace to come on here, and the reason is she wrote an article. And go ahead and tell us the article that you wrote, because believe it or not, there's actually people who haven't heard about this still, what happened. So why don't you go ahead and tell them what you wrote the article.
For sure. So last week, my coworker and I, Andy Staples, wrote a story about how all these Jags fans started as a joke, being like, we should buy Trevor Lawrence a gift from his wedding registry. There was a $300 toaster that was floating around, and then became this really awesome effort for charity where Jags fans raised over 10 grand in his name. And he has said, he wants to give 20,000 to charities in Jacksonville, hoping that he'll be part of your community soon, assuming he will be in the next matter of days at this point. But I got in touch with Samantha because I had seen that she purchased a chopping block for Trevor and his now wife, Marissa, and wrote an awesome pun on it. And I was like, okay, I have to talk to this girl.
Yeah. So from that, the backstory on that is I posted it on Twitter with the amount of money, but I didn't post it on Facebook because on Twitter it's all sports people. It's pretty much like all these guys and like people, I only use it for podcasts and sports purposes. I posted it on Facebook, but I marked out the dollar amount. I have a shopping problem.
You hid it from your husband too, didn't you?
I didn't hide it from him. I just didn't. I don't lie. You know what I mean? I just didn't say the full amount.
So you just never told them.
The first thing that happened was Sports Illustrated came out with an article, and my tweet was in it, and I was like, "Ooh, so I better complain." And then after that, Grace contacted me, and I was like, "You know what? Cat's out of the bag now. Might as well." So Grace contacted me. She's like, "Can I interview you about this chopping block?" I said, "Sure," and in the gift note I put, and it's true, I'm a sucker for the Jaguars and puns, and you'll never be on the chopping block with Jaguars fans. Congrats, Mr. and Mrs. Duval. But anyways, yeah, so she interviews me on this, and then it ended up taking off, and Mina Kynes actually, out of the entire article though, like I'm glad that she like put the URL, where to find it, but out of the entire article, the part that she screenshotted and shared to her 5 million followers, or however many, a million, whatever it is, a lot, was Samantha Wernette, a hairstylist. What did it say? Something about, it basically said like the only part of it wasn't, nothing about the chopping block, was nothing about, it was all about me naming my kids and how my kids got their names. And then in there, I guess during the interview, I had said that I conceived London during the game, but I didn't necessarily mean like during. I meant like as a result of, or during the games. Anyways, this gets put out on Twitter and finds its way everywhere, to the point that I even saw my cousin right on there. Oh my God, this is my cousin. And I had changed something on my bio, like, my kids' names are trending and my family doesn't know. And then I was like, oh, never mind. Cat's out of the bag. Family knows. But the funniest part about all of that is, like, I told you this and I can like laugh at myself, but really none of my friends and family knew that's where my kids' names came from.
That is amazing. Oh my, yeah. I mean, as soon as you said it to me, I immediately told my coworker, I was like, I just got, I think, one of the greatest quotes I've ever gotten in my career. And I typed the whole thing out to him, and he was like, on the record. I was like, yes, on the record. And I knew as soon as you said that, I was like, people are going to love this girl. They're going to laugh their heads off as soon as they see this. I didn't know that your family didn't know, though.
Yeah. So when my son, Jackson, when he came into this world, was when Sons of Anarchy was big. So we agreed on Jackson, but I was like, but it has to be after like the mascot. because I want to do it for the mascot. You just like the name Jax, whatever. And then London, she was conceived after the 44-7 win in London. And I was like, wouldn't it be cute if we named her London? Or wouldn't that be awesome if we named her London? And then I was like, wait, that's actually kind of cute. And my husband does not watch football. So he's like oblivious. He's like, yeah, whatever. I don't care.
I love it.
Now everybody knows. I've had clients this week. They're like, oh my gosh, I saw it. And I was laughing. I had no idea. So, yeah.
My favorite comment of the whole thing was the greatest receiver of all time.
Oh, yeah,
in
the
Jacksonville.
Jaguars' best receiver. And I said, I'm really offended by that because I'm really terrible at running routes. I'm not good at running routes. Yeah, there was a lot. Yeah. So, any follow-up on that, Grace, before we move on?
Well, I wanted to know what it was like for you, because my mentions were going crazy. So I can only imagine what yours must have looked like.
Well, I felt obligated, I guess, to keep checking the retweets because I'm not a tweeter.
Twitter?
What would you call that? Tweeter?
Tweeter? I'm not a tweeter.
I'm not a tweeter. But so I kept checking them and I was writing. And then I felt like I was defending myself on a couple of them because, of course, one of the funniest one actually for me was there was a ESPN reporter for the Bucks. I don't know if you saw her. I forget, Laura something. And it's Laura something ESPN, and she's for the Buccaneers. And she was kind of like being like crappy about it, and it was like, I don't want to know something. So I said, I had a picture of Tom Brady in a diaper because he's with the Buccaneers now. At the time, he was with the Patriots.
Wait, he is?
Yeah, I don't know. John, did you hear that?
Sorry.
They actually won the Super Bowl. I didn't know if you knew. They won the Super Bowl. Yeah. Anyway, I had she was being kind of crappy about it, and then I posted that picture with the diaper with Tom Brady in it, and I said, yeah, it's amazing what I said. I got a picture of her first diaper. Actually, it's amazing what the 2017 season and 2018 championship game did to my family. And it says on it, like, I changed my, what did it say? Went to change my kid's diaper and found this piece of shit. So she retweeted that I commented on it and was like, she's a Jags fan through and through. I was like, ride or die, baby. And then she actually said that my kid was cute, so I forgave her.
Your kid is cute, objectively. I got a lot of messages being like, this girl's my hero. I want to meet her. I will say on The Athletic and in my mentions, it was overwhelmingly positive, and people were just like, this girl is hilarious.
Good.
Like,
I noticed all the females were positive, and all the men were like, what the hell?
One girl actually, gosh, I can't remember who it was, but she, as soon as she saw your story, she said True Life. I can't remember who it was, but she went on an athlete's registry, saw what was on his registry, and then bought it for her friend at her friend's wedding. So
really?
Bought it for her friend. That's awesome.
Yes. So registry sleuthing is there's no shame in that.
That's awesome.
I didn't know there was a name for that. I just thought it was I just thought it was called weird.
Grace, I'm telling you, her head was like this, but now it's like it can't even fit in the picture. Her head's so big, she got real big head.
That's a facade because I have to keep up with you guys. Have you met each other? Come on. like literally being the only female on a podcast and the only female admin of 10,000 men, you kind of have to have a big head. There's something I can't help it.
Does Peyton Manning have a retirement registry? Does anybody know?
I don't know. I think Andrew Luck does.
Perfect. He needs it. Maybe I'll go buy him a $301 cutting board, and we'll see if somebody will do a story for me.
He'd probably send it back to you because he basically said "fuck the Colts." So
Not if it's books.
And on his tagline, he said, "I know the Colts can't block for you, but here's my block for you."
Yo, that'd be. Hold on, say that again. I'm writing it down.
Oh man,
I love that.
Hey, we blocked for him 1 year. Okay, it was just right.
And listen, I can't take any of the credit. I've had some of the guys like tag me. Isn't this what you did? Because they would see your article. And I'm like, no. This all goes like to Eric Dillard, aka E Dilla, on Twitter. He's the one that started it. I just so happened to see by the time it had reached charity status, I had already bought the chopping block. So I saw the initial tweet, but he's the real MVP. He's actually made it. I think they're at. Do you know what the number is now, Grace?
So when I checked with him, I think he said the total was 11,203. Does that sound right?
Wow.
Yeah, and then Trevor Lawrence went and donated 20,000.
20.
And then there was a pro golfer, Bobby
Wagner?
Bobby-
Nope, not
Boucher?
him.
Bobby
I was
Wagner.
about to say, wait.
starts with an F. Bobby. You know, that's funny.
Fair
Fuentes.
game.
That's actually how I got my husband to be more on board because he's a golfer. And I was like, hey, don't you know who Bobby whatever is?
Oh,
And he's
there
like, yeah.
you
And I'm
go.
like, he donated 18,000.
Yo,
tricked
you're
him a little bit.
really making Hank look like a buster. And
Really
I'm not
hard.
going to. You're gonna
Seriously.
stop. You're gonna
Why?
stop. You're gonna stop doing this
Hank
because
is
you're
my
making
friend, okay?
you're making Hank look like he just gave it up because all of a sudden you want to name your kids after Jaguars thing. Like you just like you know. I'm not going to allow this slander. Okay, he is a
Listen.
good egg and he's a worthwhile person, and you're not gonna treat him other than that.
Thank
Listen.
God the Jaguars have been a crappy franchise. You'd have a million kids if it was otherwise.
No.
Dang.
Yeah, well, no, yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's why when
Good thing.
everyone's like, somebody said
There's a
something
reason
like,
why you only have like what 2 kids?
yeah,
There's a reason.
One for each winning season.
somebody made a comment like, who gets turned on at Jaguars games? I was like, it was
Well.
a win. Okay, those
Hey, it's
don't
Florida.
happen.
It's hot.
Yeah, those don't
But they were in London. It wasn't that
Oh,
hot.
yeah.
Yeah. Not only that, but it would be really hard to convince Hank at this point to name the next child DeVille. Like it's just like there's no way possible.
I
There's
mean,
no
I didn't
way.
really have a lot of options that season, right? It could have been Ramsey or Blake or, you know.
Jalen.
Blake
Leonard. Leonard wouldn't have been bad. I mean, now see, this is what we have to be careful of. Imagine the Jaguars somehow actually get past the AFC Championship game. Sam might actually go and then concede.
Yeah, what
the whole
happens?
there.
What happens if they get to a Super Bowl? What's that kid's name going to be
New
called?
Orleans.
I'm just gonna get like
once in a lifetime.
I'm gonna get like a hamster or something because
Pipe dream?
If I have to get like a hamster because we know that we're gonna trade away anybody anyway, so I can't name them.
There you go.
after.
That's
That
true.
child's name was gonna be hashtag I was unconscious.
Oh my god, no. Oh no. Well, that was way to kill that one, Chris.
Yeah.
Way to kill that.
Hey,
one.
it was a great story though, Sam. Like I think that's actually really cool. I actually didn't know this
Yeah.
story until I heard about it.
Nobody
so.
did.
All joking aside.
Yeah, she was trying not to tell people.
Grace
Yeah.
knows. Grace knows, and then the world found out.
we go.
Oh,
I
way to
thought
go,
it was
Grace.
cool. I thought it was cool. Just to see like the way Jacksonville has really come together for Trevor before he's even gotten there, I think has been pretty cool to watch.
Yeah. So tell us about that. You, like you said before, enough about me. Come on. I've got a big enough head already, right?
Girl,
Yeah, we've only
this
been
story
here
was
for
seriously one of my
30
favorite stories I wrote all year. So anytime you want to talk about this story,
Once
let me
again,
know.
I am so sorry.
Ah, the year's young. The year's young.
This is
Yeah,
like
yeah,
a scene
yeah,
in Step
yeah.
Brothers where they're just like, did we just become best friends?
Right? Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
Hey, I invited her down. I invited her down to the first game. I said, "I'll get you the hookup if you want to come down." But
that sounds
anyways,
great, but why?
shut up. Anyway, moving on. You've said you've been with the Athletic and reporting for Clemson this whole time. You've seen Trevor in and out. So, do you know anything like besides what we know about Trevor Lawrence? Like some maybe positive and negative qualities?
It's hard to find negative. In fact, Dabo Sweeney jokes about that sometimes where I think Trevor got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty like once, and Dabo was so pumped because he doesn't ever get to yell at him. And so he yelled at him once, maybe twice. But I think the cool thing about Trevor is that, when he first came to Clemson, he was, well, you guys know, he's been famous since he was basically 13, 14. So he comes to Clemson as this very hyped prospect. And at that point, Clemson has a senior quarterback. He's just kind of trying to lay low a little bit, just win the starting job, which he eventually does. But he laid pretty low his freshman year. His sophomore year, Clemson tells him, okay, we want you to, become a leader of the offense a little bit more, kind of step into this role. And then his junior year, I thought was just really fascinating and just super cool to watch, because you see this kid who is literally just growing up right before your eyes. And that's when he started to figure out, okay, what do I care about off the field that I want to use this platform and my voice for? And how am I going to, not just be a leader of this offense, but be a leader of this whole team? And I just thought it was really fascinating and interesting to watch him take this summer and say, I want to figure out what I'm passionate about and use my platform accordingly, but also not necessarily speak out just because everyone expects me to have an opinion on everything. And so it was just kind of cool to watch him go through that in real time. And I think that the picture that we see now of Trevor, especially he's now married, it just seems to be like the more complete picture, which I think has been very cool to see.
Yeah, and he got a lot of flack, but it got shut down really quick for the chip on his shoulder comment that he made. And it's almost like everybody's out to see him fail, I guess.
I also
or is trying.
I mean, I don't know. You guys probably know this, and I think he even said this. There's really been no reason for him to have a chip on his shoulder. He's been, he won't say this, but he's been the best player on the field since he was 13. He's been the, anointed one. He lost 2 games in college. He won a national championship as a teenager. So I kind of appreciated that he was like, I don't really have a chip, because there would be no reason for him to.
Yeah, it's definitely a change of pace for Jaguars fans too, because we had people like Jalen Ramsey showing up with an armored car with like bags of cash, like trying to be like, pay me more money. And we used to have, back when we were good decades ago, I don't know if you guys knew that, but decades ago the Jaguars were also good. And
6 decades ago?
No, we've only been around for, this is like 28 years now. So it was like two decades. Anyways.
Sorry, I can't count. I'm a Colts fan.
Yeah, we know that's true. Anyway, we had the group of guys that we had at the time was like Mark Brunell and Fred Taylor and all them. And they called them all the God Squad, because they were also like morally sound, very humble guys. And we haven't had that. So this is like, especially to have a leader like that, the last positive leader that I can remember the Jaguars having is Paul Posluszny. So, or no, Calais Campbell. Who am I kidding? Calais Campbell was amazing. And then we traded him for nothing, because that's what the Jaguars do. But Matt Grieve, do you have any questions for Grace?
No, not really. I mean, you kind of said it. He's been out there in the media. I mean, that's what everyone's been talking about, how fantastic he is. And you kind of alluded to it. People are trying to find those holes in him. And I think they're reaching for the most part if they do find anything. So I don't have any questions.
All right. Anybody?
Yeah, I got
I'm actually gonna ask the most obvious reach question, right? In Matt's eyes, right? The most obvious reach question. What adjustments do you think Trevor's gonna make? I mean, I think one of the things you said, obviously, 64-2 as a starter in college. Jacksonville is gonna be a little bit different, right? It's gonna take a couple years to get to like that winning level. What do you think that adjustment's gonna be like for him?
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the first time really in his entire career that his high school career, he had a 41-game winning streak. Then he goes to Clemson. They win it all his first year. Like you said, he only lost 2 games in college. So yeah, Trevor Lawrence has never really been part of a true rebuild. And so I think it'll be different for him. I think that he's the right person for it. And I think that, just talking about his leadership, he's a guy that I think will win the locker room over just with the way he carries himself. And that's kind of always how he's been, just kind of a quiet but confident leader. But I do think that is going to be the biggest thing. I mean, he's got a new system, obviously. He's got a brand new life, all this stuff. Obviously, Urban coming from the college game, I think they'll bond over that. Urban is not a stranger to Trevor. He's seen him over the years. But yeah, he is going to be the face of a franchise that is going to be trying to build it back up, whereas in the past, he's been the face of programs that are already dominating.
Well, Matt Briggs.
So I know you weren't there when Watson was there, but what's the vibe about Watson? What's the everybody's comments about Watson over in Clemson, and also how pumped are Clemson fans that Bill O'Brien is on the Alabama coaching staff, so he can destroy the whole Alabama team.
Yeah. So you're right. I did not cover Deshaun. I started right as he was leaving, but Dabo Swinney was asked about this as the news was kind of coming out, and he had just said, obviously disappointing to see Deshaun's name in the news like that. And he was pretty clear about, I can speak to the Deshaun I know, and just said he was very consistent at Clemson and he viewed him like a son and loved him like a son. And then obviously didn't want to comment on the legal portions of it. So that was Dabo's main takeaway, is that all he can speak to is the Deshaun that he saw and he experienced every day. And he had, nothing but positive experiences with Deshaun, but that's kind of where he was on that one.
And that's kind of like the downfall of becoming a professional athlete, is people will seek you out to destroy you sometimes. Not saying that that's the case in this. I'm not taking a side. I'm not taking a stand. But I think that's almost kind of like what everybody's like. If somebody's perfect, there's nobody that's perfect. They almost try to find something that's wrong. And I think that's what they were trying to do with the whole Trevor Lawrence thing. Like, oh, he's already doing it. He's already saying he does, I don't know.
Oh, with with Trevor's comments in SI.
Okay.
Because nobody really cares when you're in college, right? Not that they don't care, but you don't have lots of money for everybody to sue you. And you don't have like lots of dirt or stuff that people can hold over you to make sure your contract doesn't this or that. And once they break out, and it's a shame to see that too, especially with a quarterback like Deshaun Watson. I hate it. But John Haw, do you have any questions for Grace?
Over under 3 years that Trevor Lawrence demands a trade.
Oh, great.
Man.
Oh man,
That's great.
gotta love it.
That is great. I'll take the over on that one. I mean,
All right,
So
Nice.
You
4
heard
years.
it.
Girl,
Within
my
3
girl.
years.
mid-season of year
Okay.
3. Let's do it.
How is? Oh, sorry.
Actually-
On a serious question though, is Trevor Lawrence going to adjust to Sean McVay's system when he gets traded to the Rams?
I was like, where are you going with this?
That's great.
Actually, hey, I do have a question.
Fire
Are
away.
you, do you know how his rehabilitation is coming along, and is he getting massages
Good one. Oh, yeah.
as part of his
Very
rehab?
important question. You must
Hang
know.
on. Oh.
You're like,
as
if
far
he
as
is,
I know,
he's been
his-
referred by.
As far as I know, his rehab has been smooth. It was on his non-throwing shoulder, so that's good news. And I think the timeline for him to be ready to go for preseason stuff, my understanding is that every comment I've seen him make about it, it sounds like the rehab is going well.
And so this past season, he was out, 2 games, I believe?
Yes.
Notre Dame and Boston College, I think.
Correct.
What was it like for him? Could you kind of give us a background, what he was like?
Sure.
Those few
Yeah.
games.
So he tested positive for COVID-19 on, I believe it was a Wednesday when it came out. So yeah. So with the isolation and the quarantine period, he missed 2 games. As you said, he missed Boston College and at Notre Dame. He ended up getting to travel to Notre Dame. He just wasn't in a place to play. But I think it was hard on him. This is what he has poured so much of his time and effort and energy into. And Clemson had a lot of trust in DJ Uiagalelei. And I think that Trevor knew that the role he would play those 2 weeks would be in a support role. And so he, was very intentional about mentoring DJ and going through the playbook. That was the thing about Boston College, is the game was designed for Trevor. Like the game plan had already been set, and it was for Trevor. So I think that it just gave him, I would think, an appreciation, but also Trevor handles in the little adversity that I've seen, which has been 2 losses, and this COVID-19 diagnosis, he handles adversity well. And so I think that he was grateful to be back on the field the week before and just knew kind of what he had to do up until then.
I actually have a not AFC South question directly related to Clemson. Is DJ Uiagalelei the official starter? Or is there a QB battle there, or is he the guy?
He's the guy. Yep, he is. They have some questions right now behind him, but yeah, he's the guy.
Nice. Anybody
That's an
else?
awesome name.
Chris Jackson?
Oh no! I mean, listen, John took all the material for me.
That's why.
Listen.
That's why it sucks to have you both on the same episode because you guys just steal everybody's content.
Well, you know what?
Content.
Nope, not at all, not at all. Because you know what, John, when it comes down to these comments about the Jags, it's just like we are in sync, so we're right there.
It's just like really ironic to me. Like you guys can say as much as you want, but the only win the Jaguars had last year was against the Colts, and
listen,
the only reason why John's team is decent is because they have a running back from Jacksonville. So, I mean, it is what it is. But
are you gonna name your third child Colt?
Probably.
Jesus, no.
Hey, Grace.
There is not going to be a third child.
Hey, Grace. Little known fact:
That
Samantha
you know.
actually did really well when we did trivia one time, and it's only because of the fact that she answered all the questions about the Colts completely 100% correct. Not only did she answer all the questions correct, not only were the questions correct. She missed all the Jaguar questions. She was just like, oh, she's like, and then afterwards she's like, no, I only missed it because of a technicality because
she's one of those people.
Because that year it was a leap year and that wasn't what it was supposed to be.
There was one question I missed, and they asked when the Jaguars, when the inaugural season was, or something along those lines. Anyways, no, when we were brought in as an expansion team, and that was 93, but we didn't play our first season until 95. So I picked 93, but they had the answer as 95. That's the reason I missed it. So shut up, Chris
Yeah, but
Jackson.
when it came to the question of what is Peyton Manning's favorite sandwich, all of a sudden it's just like Sam got that one on the dot.
Dude,
And she has,
Just the first one to answer it.
and she has a Colt
you-
shirt
you-
too.
you
Don't
wanna
let
know-
her lie to
Exactly.
you.
You want to know why? Have you seen my forehead? And have you seen Peyton Manning's forehead? We're on the same wavelength when it comes
The
to that.
HG,
Your forehead just got that big like a week ago.
the
What are you talking
HGH
about?
diet over there.
Your forehead got that big after the interview with Grace. Let's just
That
be
is
honest.
true. That's true. That's true. Thank you, Grace, for making my forehead bigger. It's your fault.
You're welcome.
I already told her that she's my kid's agent now. Like
Perfect.
she's their agent. I'm just gonna fly him out to her. You know, especially this week because they were off.
I'm so sorry, Grace.
Yeah, it's just like,
Good luck.
I really wish we could have warned you beforehand, but apparently she
You've been
beat us to it.
foisted some children.
No. I've met Jackson. He's a really cool guy.
He's also a
kid.
Texans fan.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
London's a little dangerous, so you got to watch out for her.
She really is.
Jackson.
You might need a
She-
helmet.
She's taking
For yourself.
after Trevor Lawrence breaking her clavicle.
Yeah, she did. She really did. And that was the first joke they made to me was, oh, she's going to be just like your new quarterback. But anyways, well, do you have anything else to add? And if not, do you want to tell us where to find you? And then we can let you go. I know you're like, get me out of here.
It's almost over.
Find me just on Twitter, GM Raynor, and all my stuff is on theathletic.com. I basically, all my work lives on the Clemson page, but makes an occasional cameo on the Jaguars page.
Nice. We do, hold on, let me get 2 group questions really quick before you go. Sam, what if Sunshine doesn't come to the Jags?
He is.
Come on. And then the other one is ask Grace if I can get a free subscription to The Athletic.
Maybe I'll see if we got any deals going. We usually always have something going, so tell him to DM
Oh
me or
yeah,
something.
send us a AFC South Fan Battle code and we'll get them logged in there.
Free is
tell
my
him to
favorite
DM.
price.
I actually got the Athletic for $1 a month. I don't know.
good.
I think
Yeah, I
Steven
got it for
posted
$1 a month
someday.
too. I ended up subscribing to it after you wrote the
Sweet.
article, so
Yeah.
I'm there now. We're
Thanks.
in there like swimwear.
Sam's gonna like change her profile to contributor to the Athletic and
Yeah.
Just because I'm
Official conceder of the Jaguars.
commentator for The Athletic.
No.
Yeah,
'Cause I had
commentator. Sorry,
One comment. One comment.
commentator.
Well, Grace, thank you so much for coming on and dealing with this mess. I know this is not an environment you're used to, but I really appreciate you coming on, and I'll see you soon. Talk to you soon. So
Yeah, I mean, I know you guys are pumped about draft night, so I'm sure we'll DM back and forth. But thanks for making my story. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And I'll pre-order you a Trevor Lawrence Jags jersey too.
Oh gosh, you know those are gonna go crazy.
You want one.
Oh,
they're
man,
gonna.
those-
Somebody said today they're gonna be harder to find than something. I can't
PlayStation
remember what they
5s.
referred it to, but what?
I bet they'll go
For the
fast.
Jags this season.
Harder than finding a good Bill O'Brien trade.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, anyways, Grace, thank you for coming on. We will talk to you soon.
Sounds good. Y'all have a good one.
All
Thanks,
right,
Grace.
you too.
Good night.
Thanks.
And now we're going to take a break for a word from our sponsors. Okay. We're good. Thank you, Grace.
Okay. Yeah, thank y'all.
Thank
Y'all have a
you.
good one.
You too.
See you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye.
You too.
See ya.
Well, Chris Jackson, this is where we'll hop back on and you'll take it over, and we're doing mock drafts. So
Oh,
I'm
so you
sitting the rest
literally
of it
wanted
out.
to. Oh, so you wanted to host this so that you could bloat your head up a little bit more. I see. I see
no,
what
I mean,
you're doing.
did you want to host and talk about me? I doubt you.
You
I mean,
gotta-
she was the subject of the article. I mean, she probably
Fair
should
enough.
have been here.
Look at
Listen,
John making
John.
sense.
Making excuses.
You see
A
this?
Titans fan actually said something smart. We'll let you know.
You're making
I
it
say
bigger.
I do that every time.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you that.
You're making it bigger as the episode goes on. Hold on. All right.
That's what she
I
said.
just saw John's name, Lil Haas X. Love it.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
I've had that on there the whole time. I was waiting for someone to notice.
Oh man. I will never live that down. I will never live that down.
Never.
All right, hold on. Let's go back into it. Y'all ready?
No.
All right, guys. Now for the good stuff. We had enough of the college stuff, but now what we're here for. The good
Let's
stuff.
talk about
Mock
college
draft.
players.
It's draft week. It is draft week. I'm so excited. This moment has come. But this part, Chris Jackson, take this over. We got mock drafts coming from the guys, so take this over. Let us know
Oh,
what's happening.
I thought we'd never get there.
We're
Yeah.
here.
So just to I'm gonna say bring some context to it. We're gonna be doing per team, since we have all 4 teams here, maybe including a 5th. Maybe the Texans trade up with the Cardinals somehow, so Matt can be elated twice. They're gonna do the full 7 round. Do the full 7 round, except if you are the Texans, in which you're going to do 5 rounds because
That's all you got, buddy.
Bro, I got all Cardinals. I forgot I was supposed to pick for the Texans, so that's my fault.
Okay, but you know what? That's fine. You got to release your pain somehow. So just to make this interesting, I think no, I can't do that. I was gonna say we can go in the draft order in the first round, but once again, Texans are at a deficit. So you know what, Matt? Because we can go ahead and get you out the way the quickest. What do you have for the full round draft or full rounds draft?
Matter of fact, you make fun of my not having a first round pick. We actually do get a first round pick. I think we trade Deshaun Watson to the Miami Dolphins for the 20th pick
Ooh, that's what Dylan said.
On draft night?
on draft night.
That's what
I mean,
Dylan
that
said.
wouldn't
Really think
surprise
the
me.
Dolphins are going to do that?
Oh, yeah,
there's still a lot of interest, especially for the Jets too. But I think they're going to go with that quarterback from BYU. So, yeah, Dolphins pick up Deshaun Watson. They give us the first and second round for instead of milking them for multiple years.
Wow.
Just this draft. So, yeah, that's what I got. First round, I get the edge rusher from Penn State, Jason Owoa. I never pronounced his name. Owoa, yeah. I got him going to the Texans first round, pick 18.
Oh, wow.
Am I supposed to keep going? Or are
Yeah.
we going? Okay.
Yep. Just go all the way down.
And the second round, 36 pick, I got us picking Elijah Moore. I was kind of surprised he was still there. Be a great set with Cooks. And then going on, I got Molden from Boston, the safety. The defensive lineman, I got Tommy Togia from Ohio State. Thomas Graham, Bobby Brown, Josh Palmer, Chris Tonga, Bryce Thompson, Drew Dahman, and then I got Texas quarterback Sam Ellinger to finish up the draft.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sammy, big old
Yeah.
Sammy.
Yeah. With the question of who's going to be the quarterback, I mean, you can't really not pick a quarterback, especially if he falls all the way to the 233 pick. You got to take him. So,
Oh wow. So
there's a lot of people I was kind of surprised to be there, but I mean, it's a mock draft. So
I'm just surprised about the Dolphins pick. Like, I mean, I know that there's still some interest, but I know it's just like with Deshaun being on the exempt list, I thought that maybe teams wouldn't.
He's not on the exempt
He's
list
not
yet.
on the exempt.
Oh, he's not there. Oh, so he's not
not.
on the exempt. Oh,
Not
okay,
yet.
Gotcha.
Yep.
He will.
Okay.
Be, for sure.
And I don't want to take away from the victims at all, but with the lack of evidence, I'm just going to say out there, with that lack of evidence, I don't see him being on the exempt list anytime soon. But it could be when the season starts, he could miss, like Ben Roethlisberger missed what? 4 games?
4.
Yeah.
4 games. So, I mean, he can miss that. But that's still, with that Miami defense and all the good pickups they had this year with Deshaun Watson, I mean,
They'll be fine.
yeah.
They'll be more than fine.
That'd be legit. So, I can see them making that move.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, like you said, that okay, I get that. I thought that he was still on the exempt list, but thank you for correcting me on that because that changes a lot. So, we'll see.
I'd be surprised if he doesn't end the exempt list. Really, I really am. I really would be.
Like I said, the lack of if Busby has something we're not seeing, the lack of physical evidence is just hard to put him on there. Right now, it's just nothing but hearsay.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, with that being said, a lot of surprise names. Well, there's one name that's not going to be a surprise, but like I said, the rest of them, I mean, I think at this point, if Jacksonville fans don't see their consensus number 1, they'll be surprised. I just don't know who they're looking for after that. Matt, what is your projected full draft?
Trevor Lawrence, obviously, going off the top. And then from there, it's just a crapshoot. I mean, but if you put a gun to my head, I would say I know Urban Meyer really likes speed, and we have a lot of holes to fill. I think realistically in the draft, I think we would probably end up going for the most talented at the time, just because there are so many holes. But I would pick the safety out of TCU, Moring, if he's still available at the time. And then so that would be the first round, and then at the top of the second, I think it would be interesting to see Travis Etienne go if he's still there. Again, that's in line with Urban Meyer wanting to add speed. And I know we have our number 1 back already, but to have a 2-headed monster, plus there's the relationship that Trevor Lawrence already has with Travis Etienne, and what he can do out of the backfield with catching. So I think that would be a really interesting pickup. And then for the second pick and later on in the draft, in the second round, the tight end out of Penn State. I don't think he'll still be available, but in this scenario, he was. Especially with him being slated as the number 2 tight end in the draft. It's not very deep at all. I mean, once you get away from Pitts, it's pretty wide gap.
Yeah,
I would love to see Kyle Pitts, but I see a lot of drafts he's going to, I believe, Atlanta, which is interesting. But then I saw today they're taking phone calls for Jones. And so that maybe that adds Jamar Chase or another wide receiver to the mix. So, but either way, I don't think Kyle Pitts will be available for us unless we trade up. And then from there, I get us the offensive tackle out of BYU, Brady Christensen. Gosh, did you? I think you picked this guy, Matt, out of Vanderbilt, the edge rusher. Ode Ingbo. Did you pick him?
No, I got the guy from Penn State. So
okay, I got him. Edge, the cornerback, Williams, Rodarius Williams out of Oklahoma State.
That's a good pickup.
And then another wide receiver at Auburn, Anthony Schwartz. and cornerback Avery Williams at Boise State. Yep.
So that's not a bad pickup.
It's not a bad draft.
Especially a
like
cornerback out of Oklahoma State. I think he's a very underrated cornerback, but that's just because the Big 12, their cornerback play is just in my eyes, is very underrated.
Yeah,
I would like to see. I would like to see us trade into the first round with a third first round pick. We'd have to give up probably both of our second round picks, but the only reason I say that is because, as you all know, if you get with the first round pick, you can get that 5th-year option on the player, so you can control the player for 5 years, which I think would be helpful for the long term. So that's what I think will happen. Who knows what will happen? But that's the Jaguars.
Yeah. So you think that they're really just going to end up going just very offense heavy, not with Lawrence there?
I mean, it's just such an offensive deep draft.
It is.
We addressed a lot on the defensive side, in free agency. And I think we still can. I assume we'll probably pick up more defensive players in the draft realistically, but this would be a nice draft to see.
Well, and what else people fail to realize too, after the draft, there's going to be a lot more cuts. So you can always add more depth on the offense and the defense side. So I think that'd be a pretty good set for you for the Jaguars.
Yeah. I mean, and there's still so many teams that are still trying to figure out their salary cap, which is why Julio Jones is on they're taking calls for him. I mean, I think what they said right now, they technically couldn't even sign their draft class right now.
That June 1st deadline is going to be real important. You're going to see a lot of players get released, and it's crazy. I think it's like there's still like 10 or 12 teams that are still above the salary cap.
There's a bunch.
So it's there could be like a quote unquote free agency round 2.
But you could also say that could make more moves for trades, like the Texans trading Watson and possible Merciless. Titans trading people they don't need to cut that salary cap.
Yeah, I think there's still a lot to happen between now and training camp. 3 months.
This whole year because of COVID it's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be the craziest draft we ever seen. That's just how I feel about it.
No, definitely. I mean, like I said, I think the number that came out was any moves made with Julio before June 1st is like it goes 23 million against their cap.
Yep.
Anything after June 1st frees up 15. So I mean, that alone is $38 million in terms of a deficit that you literally have to wait until June 1st for.
It almost feels like he's gonna go. Like they're gonna trade him. Like it almost feels like they have to.
Well, I mean, he's still an elite athlete, and then on top
he's
of that,
fantastic.
On top of that, if you're a team that is, just in need of a wide receiver or just somebody
why wouldn't you have to take Julio? Why wouldn't you? But
I mean, they listed 8 teams already that would automatically.
I'm just saying, like it's a
anybody.
weird state that we're in, where like a franchise is getting rid of a player like Julio Jones because they have to free up money.
Now listen to me on this, and this be a good segue. But what if the Falcons trade Julio Jones to the Colts for the first round pick?
I'll take it.
Well, it's all day.
I'll take
all
it.
Day. So,
but we're not just giving up a first round pick, though. We give up more. So I mean, it just kind of depends. We still have some.
I'd say the Falcons got hosed.
I would say that too, but we still have other need. If all we give up is a first, oh yeah, I would,
because they already have the 4th pick. Why would
it would be a bigger highway robbery than us getting a first round pick for DeForest Buckner. Like it would, that would be highway robbery.
Yeah.
But speaking of, I mean, either way, let's just be honest. I know Matt talked about trading up potentially, but of course we know with the Colts with Chris Ballard, he's going to probably trade down. But either way, Harish, you'll be able to cover that now. What do we have in terms of the projected draft for the Colts?
So the draft that I did and if we let me start by saying if this is the draft we have, it's going to be highway robbery. So
I would expect nothing less from you, Harish.
So speaking of Chris Ballard and trading down, I have us trading down to 23 with our favorite trade team in the world, the Jets.
The Jets. Gotcha.
We're gonna recoup our 3rd round pick. So we trade down we just trade down 2 spots. Pick up Jalen Phillips, who's an outside edge guy we really need. Ballard's high on Teray, and he's high on. I'm not high on Ben Benegoo, but he is. But Jalen Phillips gives us some length at that position. A guy that can put some pressure on quarterbacks on the other side, opposite Teray, and help kind of divorce in the middle and can take advantage of that. In the 2nd round, we have to address the offensive tackle. I personally think I would like Alex Leatherwood, but I ended up with Dylan Radins, which I wouldn't be upset with at all.
That's a good pick.
Out of North Dakota State. The 3rd round, I mean, huge drop off from it's like Kyle Pitts and the rest of the tight ends, right? But Brevin Jordan from Miami is a guy that I have going in the 3rd round. I think it's a great fit for us. Frank Reich runs a 3 tight end system. There are rumors that we are going to wait and see if the Eagles release Zach Ertz and then we go pick him up, which I could also see, and I could still see even after this pick. Again, Carson Wentz was successful with tight ends and a big wide receiver, so we need to go do that. And I think MPJ is going to help the big wide receiver portion, and we just need to get tight ends. Haskell Garrett, the defensive tackle out of Ohio State, is who I have as taking in the 4th round. Just somebody else that can help fill in the void. He's a little bit bigger, but he's a guy that can take up a lot of space in the middle. And I think that's something that's going to be good. We do need another wide receiver, so I have us taking Amari Rogers out of Clemson in the 5th round. Again, highway robbery if he goes that low. I think he's projected to go 3rd or 4th round. I don't expect this to happen at all, but if it did, highway robbery. And this is just the way it fell for me. In the 6th round, again, Rocky Sin is still up in the air. We don't know what's going to happen with them, so I have us taking Cameron Bynum out of Cal as an option there. And then finally in the 7th round, Dylan Stoner, the wide receiver out of Oklahoma State. Again, I watch a lot of Big 12 football. Dylan Stoner is a guy that has really good hands. He can catch out of the slot. He can catch on the outside. He's a guy that's just going to come in and just bring in competition, right? You got guys like Desmond Patman that kind of need to step up. You've got some guys. Paris Campbell, we still don't know. If he's healthy, he's really good. Problem is he's never healthy. He hasn't played a full season. I don't even think he's played a full game. So we've got to really kind of figure out what's happening at that wide receiver. So I have us taking 2 wide receivers just so we can have a backup plan if something happens to Paris Campbell. But yeah, I mean, if this is the draft we end up with, then Chris Ballard.
That's low key.
Chris Ballard is a fucking
low key scary draft.
If we get this draft, it's not going to happen. I do think we do I do think we trade down, and I do think our first 2 picks are going to be in some order defensive end and offensive tackle. After that, it's just what happens.
Gotcha. Okay. No, that would be a hell of a draft. But
I can see Ballard trading, especially with his other Dorsey protege making that big trade last week in Kansas City with Brown. I can see him making some trades. They're both him and Beach are very trade happy, especially when it comes to the draft. And look, it's panned out for both of them. So
we've only had, like, Colts fans need to realize we've only had 2 first round picks in the last 5 years. So if we trade down, it should be no surprise.
Whatever Dorsey does to train GMs, I need him to come do it for the Texans, like legit. So,
well, I mean, Caserio filled out the roster.
Hashtag
so be it.
Easter
He filled it out with a bunch of Green Army soldiers, but I mean, they'll still be good for next year.
I like the moves he's doing, but I mean, at this point, anything's better than a bag of Skittles. So
it's early.
Yeah. And then last but certainly not least, John.
Oh, this is least. You guys know how I watch.
Hold on.
Go ahead.
Our very special guest,
Oh yes, that's yes. Little
Yeah.
Haas X, please.
John, by the way, Eddie George has already been drafted. You can't draft him.
Ah, blessed. It's too bad. Okay, yeah, I watched no college football, so I took some shot in the darks. I just went after positions, and
I'm with you on that.
You guys can.
I always work Saturdays. It's terrible.
Yeah, you guys can go ahead and give me feedback, whatever. I just said, hey, you know what? It's a mock draft. This is fun, whatever. So first pick, I wanted to go after cornerback. So I said Caleb Farley. I read just a little bit saying that he's had injury things going on, but screw it. It's a mock draft. Who cares?
If he's there first pick and y'all get him, that's a very good pick for you guys.
Great. Fantastic.
The only thing about him is his back. He had that back injury.
That's what I was reading. They said there's something with his injuries going on. He's missed some. He missed his pro day or whatever. But
every mock draft I've seen, he's going 14 and under.
Really? Okay. Well, then we probably won't get him then. But
the way COVID does, man. I mean, obviously Colts do this pre-draft series where they just talk about things, and one of the things they said was getting injury and reports this year has been like basically ultimate hell. It's been so hard.
Yeah.
So
it's crazy. All right, where was I? Okay, second pick. I want to get a wide receiver because Reynolds is not going to cut it. And you know what? To be fair, Corey Davis didn't really cut it a whole lot anyway. So I said, screw it. Let's team up AJ Brown and Ole Miss. I went Elijah Moore
please no.
because he said Ole Miss. I don't know.
No. Please God, no.
I know nothing. I don't know what I'm doing. I just said, hey, Ole Miss, let's get AJ Brown and these guys
Elijah
together.
Moore is literally AJ Brown 2.0 basically.
Yes, let's do it.
He's
a smaller AJ Brown, really quick.
Yeah.
Fucking
great
amazing
hands.
route.
I'm into it. Let's do it.
Great
Line it up.
hands. He's a beast.
Okay, I'm knocking it out of the park so far. Should I just quit while I'm ahead?
No. Let's just keep going.
I'm curious. I want to see Javon Curse come off the board. He's still there.
I found a thing that has people who are eligible in this year's draft. So all right, you're gonna have people who are eligible here. Okay. Then I said let's go ahead and take Ronnie Perkins because that's what was suggested to me out of Oklahoma. So there you go. I can't take credit.
What's wrong with Ronnie Perkins?
I don't know. It was just I don't know who this guy is. I just went after position.
Pretty good, actually.
It's not about the pick. It's just about how he's framing the pick.
It told me. It gave me the suggestion. It said suggest that you take Ronnie Perkins. I said thank you. I was on auto draft for a minute.
You know what?
You go ahead.
That's actually not a bad auto draft.
Thank you.
Before you go on, we've had commentators in the past that have come on here, myself included, possibly, pretending.
They just pretend.
I'm more or less happy with your honesty. You're like, yeah, that's what they told me.
Care.
So.
Yeah, pretend. I ain't got no shame. I don't care. I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't. Ronnie Perkins. Then I said, it's the Titans. We like to go offensive line, usually in the mid rounds. So what did I have? I had Walker Little.
Ooh, that's a very good pickup.
Yeah.
Stanford.
Totally opposite of
Yes.
Isaiah Wilson. So that's a very good pickup.
Thank you.
That wasn't sarcastic whatsoever.
I just
right.
take it.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
not at all. That's a very good pickup.
All right. And then from what I understand is okay, where are we? Okay. You'll have to help me on how to pronounce this. In Notre Dame, Liam
Eichenberg?
Eichenberg, yep.
Wow.
Yeah, that's where I went.
What round is that?
He was ranked the highest out of this. This was what round am I? This is 4.
Jesus
4.
Christ.
I know.
Oh,
did you draft a Madden? Like, is this a Madden draft? Or?
Yeah, right. It was the what was the site that I went to? Draft Networks.
Dude, all these draft sites have been so
junk. I mean, like I said, you guys give me the feedback on this one. I don't even know who these. I don't know who I'm.
Liam Eichenberg is a monster.
There you go.
He's probably going to end up going in the second round, but
yes.
I mean, if he
I
does
can end up being one of the best tackles in the draft because Notre Dame just shit offensive linemen.
Okay, then after that, we went for safety, and I took Damar Hamlin. Pittsburgh.
Yep.
You guys follow them. What do you got?
That's about 8. That's where he should fall, about 5th round.
Okay.
So that's
I don't really know too much about him.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. And then I decided to this pick was because I watched one college football game all year, and it was BYU versus Coastal Carolina. So I took Taryn Jackson.
Oh. Quarterback?
That was he's the edge rusher.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That was the only college game I watched, so I said, screw it, I'll take that one. And then we went with tight end Tony Polijan from Virginia.
Sounds like a great guy.
Okay, good. Sounds like a winner. And then let's see. I think this is my last pick. Okay, last pick. Then I went wide receiver just for laughs. I went Anthony Schwartz.
Oh,
okay.
Not bad.
Clearly, all these mock draft sites are like either drunk or they're broken.
It's meaningless. Who cares? None of this is going to happen.
These
so
picks are crazy.
Yeah. The mock draft I had, they had Kyle Pitts going like 14, and we all know that that's not going to happen. He's going to go top 5 easy.
I don't think anybody upgrades their algorithms. I honestly think that's what it is. There's no way.
Like in the years, PFF has been great mock draft, but this year it's been crap. It's just
we had a comment that the Jaguars are going to pick Trevor Lawrence first, and then Justin Fields is going to fall, and we're going to pick him 25th too.
Oh, we get them both.
How funny would that be?
Congratulations!
I honestly don't see it. Like I see him either going 2 or 3. Like I mean, everybody can say all about what the experts say, but there's no way. What are they? He falls.
Who are the so Trevor Lawrence, but then who is the next quarterback? Because all I hear is like either Mac Jones and then the BYU kid, and then, like BYU what kid. Are we? It's the BYU kid.
Yeah, it's going to be the BYU kid. Yeah, Zach Wilson will be 2, and then that's where you find a crapshoot. Right?
I just don't see Mac Jones being a top 5 quarterback.
He's not.
He's not.
Everybody, if Kyle Shanahan, I saw a tweet and I retweeted it on our page. If they pick Mac Jones over Fields, Kyle Shanahan should get the QB guru taken from his name. Like he is a complete idiot.
No, I mean, so QB guru isn't about taking quarterbacks, right? It's about building quarterbacks. And until we see, whoever he picks and then play, we can't take that away from him.
You really think Mac Jones would be a better fit than Fields and Kyle Shanahan's offense? I don't. I really don't. I think Fields is the better quarterback.
I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo didn't play all that bad, and Mac Jones is basically Jimmy Garoppolo.
Well, okay, he didn't do that bad, but he didn't do that great. They got to
Kyle Shanahan's offenses.
Well, yeah, but because of that running game and that defense. It wasn't because of Jimmy Garoppolo.
I was pretty sure he had a pretty decent season.
He had a pretty good year.
It wasn't great. It was decent. It wasn't good or great. It was decent.
It was a game. It was game manager, you could say.
Fields has been talked about like a Deshaun Watson type quarterback. It is that. I mean, I would take that in a heartbeat. Minus the massage parlors.
It was all right. Yeah, I mean, he was 4,000.
Hey, you don't know. You don't know. Maybe he's visiting massage parlors too.
13 interceptions. Yeah, I mean, it wasn't horrible. Yeah,
27. But it wasn't good either.
No.
Wait, who are we referring to? Deshaun Watson.
Now we're talking.
Who?
Trevor.
Well,
Fields.
now we just looked up Jimmy Garoppolo's numbers.
I said Trevor Fields.
We know Jimmy Garoppolo was visiting.
Trevor Fields. I said Justin Fields is like a Deshaun Watson minus the massage parlors. But
TBD.
No, don't get me wrong. I think Justin Fields is the second best quarterback in this. The third best quarterback in this class.
Yeah, I think Wilson's the second best.
He's 2 or 3. He's 2 or 3.
I think Mac Jones. Honestly, I think Trask is better than Mac Jones. I really do.
I think Trask is not going to be very good.
I think name me a good Alabama quarterback in the last 15 years.
I think it's I understand that. I think it's hard to say.
AJ McCarron, woo!
But I don't know. I mean, I get it. It's a valid argument, right? But it's like, are we really just going to base somebody's success in the league based off of what everybody else before them has done?
Well,
That
I mean,
is true.
it is a stepping
Like,
stone.
I don't think
though.
that's fair. Like, what good Clemson quarterback has ever come out of Clemson and played in the NFL besides Deshaun Watson?
You got a point. I mean, you got a point there, but also you got to realize before Dabo Swinney, there wasn't really a quarterback-driven coach at Clemson.
Well, that's fair, but that's what I'm saying, though, right? Like, cultures change, things change in the college game. Some players could be bad in college, and they're actually good in the NFL just because of where they land.
Okay, you said it right. Okay,
And vice versa.
Saban has been a bad quarterback pick of all. He passed Drew Brees in Miami. He passed up Drew Brees.
No. Saban wanted Drew Brees, and the front office overrid him. Saban wanted Drew Brees. That's why he left.
He just has never seen him have a good quarterback in that. I mean, some good quarterbacks, not a great.
There's been some documentaries about that whole thing, and
Hey,
Saban. The reason why Saban left Miami is because they didn't take Drew Brees.
I thought he was behind it, but still, as a quarterback coach, he's had some good quarterbacks. But let's be honest, that running back, he produces running backs left and right, and all his quarterbacks been carried by the running back crew. And this year, Mac Jones was carried by Devontae Smith. He really was.
Well, yeah. Dylan had a good point. Who's the last good Ohio State quarterback?
Right. I mean, you got a point.
So I mean, that's
Cordell Jones. Right.
I get what I'm saying. Like the whole. Well, who's the last good X, Y, and Z from this school? It's like it's an argument, but it's a stupid argument.
I get what you're saying, but also, I mean, you got Mac Jones is just. I just don't see him being that type of quarterback. I really don't. Especially with all the talent around him, is just.
I mean, if he finds a system that has two great wide receivers, then he's a great offensive line. He's a Troy
Aikman of college football. He really is.
Oh, jeez.
So
Troy Aikman was a pretty good pro player too.
Troy Aikman also
he was carried.
He was decent, but he had an O line for like a good majority of his career on top of the running backs, wide receivers. Like he
didn't have a he had a good career, but he didn't have a Hall of Fame career. That's the point I'm saying.
We can make the same point with Tom Brady, right? I mean, he had top 5
offensive lines. Isn't Troy Aikman
lines.
a Hall of Famer?
He had top 5 offensive lines and top 5 defenses his entire life.
Was that?
He literally just had it.
I give you lineman, but his weapons every time is other than Walker.
Do you notice something here?
Jaguars. No talk about.
Yeah, the podcast is interesting. And then you had to stop.
No, I just noticed that the only ones talking about at this point are the ones that have something to worry about. But go on.
Yeah.
You have no team. You should have a lot to worry about.
Why don't you just write down baby names, all right?
The only person that don't have a quarterback is me. That's the only one that doesn't have a quarterback in the whole AFC South.
Yeah, back to that. The whole trading to Miami for a first round, I don't foresee. I mean,
I do. I really do.
It happens every day.
You are hoping that's what you're doing.
No,
I honestly, when Deshaun
Watson
Watson wanted to trade it, I wanted him gone to first. I wanted him.
I agree. I was the same way about that one.
Jalen Ramsey.
That one.
Jalen Ramsey.
For us.
Yeah.
But
don't do that. Don't do that. You loved him at one point.
He's a great player.
He's good.
I just at this point don't foresee, because the NFL isn't. It's kind of crappy too when you think about it. The NFL hasn't concluded.
Right. That's why I was telling Chris. That's why I was telling Chris. There's no. I hate to say this because I don't want to take nothing away from the victims, but there's no hardcore physical evidence.
No, that's not what I was gonna say. What I'm saying is the opposite. Actually, it's kind of crappy for everybody involved, like even the Texans in general, because they don't have leverage with him because you can't the NFL hasn't concluded their investigation. So how can you? Nobody's going to really waste a first round pick for him and then him get. Actually,
the reports are the Miami and New York is still very, very high wanting him, and there's no news is good news sometimes.
Yeah.
So I mean, and like I said, Ben Roethlisberger.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to
happen.
happen. No one's going to trade for him with the situation the way it is.
Look, I'm actually with Matt on this. If I were the Texans, this is the best time to trade him. You trade him now.
Yeah, it is, but no one's going to. You have to have a buyer, and I don't think anybody's going to realistically buy.
Okay, you say that, but this is also, like Hurry said, this is the perfect time for the Texans. This is the great time for the Dolphins. Fantastic time, because his name is going through when the trade talks first came around. Yeah, exactly. When the first trade, they said 3 first rounds and 3 second rounds are the only thing that's starting the conversation. Now you're saying, I'll take him for 1 first round. That's it.
I mean,
just
somebody said it a while ago, and it's true. If they would have just traded him a while ago, this could have been the Jets' problem.
Exactly.
Exactly.
100%.
They said no. They weren't even taking phone calls.
If anything,
and now they're like, shit, somebody pull the records. Let's go back.
So
if anything, it drives the value down, right? So for Miami, they might as well make a deal now where they could potentially get him for 2 first rounds and 2 second rounds or something, right? I don't know what that price is.
So
but
6th round pick. I got them picking Devontae Smith, the 6th round pick. And then you go and trade up an 18th pick for Deshaun Watson, Devontae Smith, Will Fuller, and Deshaun Watson. That's a deadly combination. So I can see it happen. I really do.
Gotcha.
Well, you know what they say, Matt.
But I mean,
you get shit in one hand and wish in the other.
Right, and the Texans aren't known for making great trades. So
facts.
Right.
Good point. Good point.
With the KS, big time facts.
But they also had a different coach / GM /
right, and that's what I'm hoping.
Chef, whatever he was.
That's why I'm hoping they're talking about trading Merciless and a whole bunch of other people. So
maybe Caserio is going to be drinking scotch with Roger Goodell.
I just really hope that they should really consider getting rid of Easterby at this point, because I feel like anybody that's going to get drafted is going to be like, oh fuck.
All
right. Aren't him and Caserio like butt buddies? Like they circle with each other.
It's McNair and Easterby. They're the butt buddies.
Oh, okay. Got it.
Yeah.
And ironically, McNair and the lawyer. So.
Yeah. Coincidence.
Dylan asks, anyone think Watson won't demand a trade after this blows over? 100% he demands a trade.
I
think he's demanding a trade beforehand.
Yeah.
Right, exactly. So, I mean, why not? I honestly, during the draft, the 18th pick comes up, and they say, hey, first round, second round, because I think they got, 2, 3 second round picks, Miami? I know they got Miami? 2 for sure, but I think they got 3. They gassed a lot of people for draft picks this year. Yeah. So, I mean, first and a second for a could be MVP, I could see it happen. I really do.
I could see it first this year, and then maybe like conditional picks next year, depending on whether he plays or not over the next few years. Because it's high risk, high reward for sure. Right. I mean, the more I think about it, the more I could see them pulling the trigger, because a franchise quarterback is there's no
hard to come by.
I mean, people give up entire drafts for that.
Right. And like I said, I hate to take anything from any victims, because this is not something to play with. But honestly, the same amount of evidence in this case is the same amount of evidence as the Big Ben case. So, I mean, he missed 4 games. If like I said earlier, if I'm Miami and all my quarterbacks missing 4 games, then you better believe, I'll take them. So,
well, we'll see how everything shakes up, being that this Thursday is officially the draft. Like I said, we've talked about trade ups and trade downs, maybe trade aways. In this case, for Matt, trading away the last hope for the Tex Cardinals.
I didn't even talk about my Cardinals, so you're all lucky, because I got ass killing.
No, we are lucky, absolutely.
You got like 20 contracts for them.
But other than that, we are all wrapped up. It's amazing. It's just like we just went into a segue and started talking about actual football. Nothing from the Food Network or Home and Garden Television, right, Sam?
Or who Jesus is hanging out with?
I'm online shopping right now. Why did you say?
Isn't that how we got here in the first place, man?
Yes, it is.
Oh, Well,
I'm,
right back where we started.
I'm looking.
Now
I'm
it has
going
closure.
to see the Braves play the Mets in a couple weeks. And
Before
Trevor another cutting board.
Before we head out, I do want to give a shout out to one fellow Texan fan, Chris Royal. He had his first grandbaby today. So congratulations on Chris Royal being a grandpapa.
You gonna let Sam name the grandbaby?
Tell him don't be a Texans fan because
his name is Bill O'Brien Royal.
Bill O'Brien Royal.
Don't curse that baby. Don't curse that baby. Come on.
I already
Bill
Royal. Too many baby mamas. That's his name right there. Too many.
DeAndre Hopkins / Skittles Royal.
There you go.
I actually have some Skittles on my desk.
All right. So with that one, well, Sam, you gonna take us out, or would you like me to?
No, Chris, go ahead. You're everybody likes you better anyway. Go ahead.
Okay, well that's true. So, all right, everybody. So that has been our last mock draft edition for this, because we're actually gonna have the draft soon, which means we'll officially have football to talk about, and that will be this upcoming Thursday. Woo! I don't know. Well, then again, that would be live. We'll see. But
we're gonna be live. We're gonna be live inside of the AFC South Fan Battle group, the private group. So if you are listening, join the group.
Yes, and if you don't know how, then get it together, please, because that's some bullshit. But but everybody, how can we reach you on social media other than Lil Haas X? Because we know that
you can't.
He doesn't commune.
John, he's the Del Gribble of the podcast.
I'm literally getting off of this episode.
Oh, you are.
Oh. Sam, why? Why, Sam?
I walked right into that.
I'm gonna call him.
Okay, as soon as I get off this episode, I'm going on Twitter and I'm making you the Little Haas X.
Yeah, Little Haas X.
I'm making that. I'll send you the password.
Oh, you have a Twitter account now?
Yeah,
I think they're banned in Utah. Isn't Twitter banned in Utah?
After this episode, you can find John on Twitter.
They only allow Parler in Utah.
Oh God.
John, we're gonna cancel you, bro. Cancel culture coming after John Hall the next episode.
We're gonna get demonetized. This is
it's only okay because I'm laughing at it. It's only okay because I'm laughing at it. Okay, that's the only saving grace for this one.
Oh my God, that was good.
You sure you want to give me control of that account now, Sam?
Yes, I do. Even more now. So you can find John after this episode on Twitter at Little Haas X. You can find me at Sammy Football with an I. Not with an I. It's Sammy Football, and Sammy has an I.
And Matt, where can we find? Well, Matt Greaves, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Matthew G Sports.
Okay, let's bring it over to Matt Briggs.
Like the name says, at Fan Battle Briggs.
All right, Harish.
Find me at the Uncle Gandhi.
The only Uncle Gandhi.
Just the Uncle Gandhi.
And
I'm saying you're the only Uncle Gandhi.
That is correct.
You can find Sam at your local book signing. She will be signing pamphlets for chopping blocks, because apparently she is now the official of chopping blocks. Not just one brand, but just of all chopping blocks.
I'm kind of like pissed though, because those guys that started it got a freaking touchscreen toaster, and John Booze won't even tweet me back I wanted my own chopping block. So John Booze, if you're listening,
let's be honest. Didn't Little Evil Knievel break a whole collarbone, and you really want to leave that giant blade on that board?
That's true. Good point.
Yeah, some things are just better left unbought for you.
Very true.
Wait, touchscreen toasters are a thing?
Touchscreen toasters are a thing.
This is awesome.
They just came out with a see-through toaster. You can actually see your toast being toasted.
I don't care about that. I'm actually about to buy a touchscreen toaster.
I do. That's just fantastic seeing your toast being toasted.
Don't tell my wife.
You should have had
Chris
that
Jackson,
on your
where do we
registry.
find you?
You can find me tormenting you. It's on Twitter at CJ Colts fan.
Oh, that says a lot. Well, anyways, guys, we thank you for tuning in this evening, and we will see you next week. And we'll have football players.
That's right, and Sam's forehead will be slightly smaller.
No,
It's
it's
gonna
bigger.
get bigger.
We'll
You
have
kidding
Trevor
me?
She'll have her jersey by then.
It'll be half Clemson, half Jacksonville.